everyone, and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Felissimo Friday, and we have number 20 of our Felissimos here. This is the Daydreams by Monique, Winged Daydreams by Monique Daywild that we will be coloring in. I do have some lights on, so it's going to wash things out a little bit on this camera, hopefully not on the other one. Let's turn that one off. Maybe it'll help a little bit. There we go. So because it's a very dark, gloomy day today, I'm trying to play with the lighting a little bit, and that's why I have the mat on the board here so that I can see what I'm doing. So there is the birds that we have been working on. This one is 17, 18, no, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And this one here will be number 20, and we will color that with the Felissimos from 381 to 400. So this is a full set of 20, and this set is called, let me take a look, Grace. She is enchanting and sublime with the air of sophistication. Let's try that again. She is enchanting and sublime with an air of sophistication and style. Her eyes lightly twinkle, bluish gray. The colors of Grace go on for a mile. And it's a lovely set of grays and vanilla colors. All right, so we're going to switch over. Let's take a look at the pencils first of all. The set has some fantastic names on their colors, like this one is called Mystical Muse, and they are, of course, a square barrel pencil. They are a wax-based, I do believe, wax oil-based. They are created in Japan. And they're a lovely, lovely set of pencils. It comes in a 500 set. You can purchase them either one box at a time or the full 500. I'm going to move this over here so that I can color the swatch chart. Now I will again pre-warn and let you know that the swatch charts that come with the set are not the best paper, so you will find that your paper may feel like it's not taking any color. I have found that using a Mr. Pen sharpener for these on the chunky barrel does work best. I was using the Staedtler pencil sharpener, and I found it tore the corners, where this one doesn't tear the corners. You can definitely sharpen it to a nice sharp point. All right, so the first color for this number 381 is called Born Elegance, and it is a lovely soft gray. I'm just going to layer that color on the page here. And again, like I said, the paper isn't all that great, so trying to get a buildup of color can be difficult on this paper. So it only accepts a little bit of color, so you're not getting the full vibrancy of the pencils. And that one is Born Elegance. The next one, like I said, it is a very gray, tan, vanilla type of set. The next one is Enchanting Dance. And that's a really pale gray. It's almost a white gray. It has a little touch of blue in it. Trying to build up the color enough that you can actually see it. It's, like I said, it's a very, very pale gray. All right. Lovely, lovely grays and blue grays. Very pale colors so far. This one here is called Glass Slipper. So it is also going to be a very light, light blue gray. This one is number 383. Barely see the color at all. So we're into the gray areas for the set. We've had some really vibrant colors and some very muted colors, and now we're into our gray areas, which is great because I was a little bit concerned with the lack of grays. And we're into the cool grays, the blue-gray kind of colors. So that one was Glass Slipper. And this one is called Wave Chill. Again, I'm just sharpening them a little bit as I go along. Just one or two turns in the sharpener does a great job on getting that point on your pencil. Again, a very light, light, light blue. Almost a white blue, which is really nice to have. You're not seeing the colors very well, like I said, because it is very, very, very light. This is going to be interesting coloring that page. This one here is called Charmed Call. I'm going to turn that one a little bit too far, but yeah, I knew that was going to happen. If you bring your points too far to a point, you will find that the points do break. So be careful with that. Again, a very light, light blue-gray. Very cold grays today, but very light cold grays so far. Another one that has very little color to it, almost a white blue. The next one is called Dazzling Air. And as you can tell by these names, they're making sure that you understand that they're very, very light colors. Dazzling Air. So what color is air? It's almost invisible. So unless it's cold and then it's got a little bit of a white fog when you breathe. Again, a very light, light pale blue. Pale blue-gray. This one has a little bit more blue in it than the others. The others were a little bit more white than that. Barely able to see the colors myself, and I'm right here. This one is called Nimble Enigma. And I will be going through at some point and putting them into a color order. Trying to anyway. So that I can make a color order swatch chart. So that one is called Nimble Enigma. And this one here is called Prom Night. And now we're moving into a bit of a purple color. So this is going to be a dark purple gray. Very pretty color. So it's like a grayed lavender kind of color. And again, the paper doesn't like the pencils very much, so building that color up is difficult. The paper is very, very smooth, where the pencils need a little bit more of a tooth to grab hold of. So that was Prom Night. The next one is called Sweet Lilac, and again is going to be a very pale purple or pale lavender lilac color. This is going to be lighter than the first one there, and have more gray in it by the looks of it. Again, it's very, very pale. Hopefully you guys can see that. Alright, and then this one is called Mystic Muse. Mystical Muse. And this one's even lighter than the second one. Almost a white. It's very, very, very light. And there's a slight hint of that lavender color in there, but it's really, really light. Alright, so the next one is Pirouette Perfect. Yeah, try to say that 10 times fast. Pirouette Perfect. This is going to have a bit of a pink touch to it. Not quite ballerina pink, but it does have a pink undertone. Put a little bit more pressure there and build that color up a little bit. Very, very light colors. Alright, now we're going to go into more of our cream tones. This one's called Palace Sheets. Definitely a lot of grays in this. Very, very light ivory tone. Just going to build that up a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see any of these colors. I can barely see any of these colors. Well, hopefully on the other paper there will be a little bit of color placement. So this one's called Suave Entrance. Just going to press a little bit harder and get that final color saturation there. There we go. And again, a nice light peach tone. And then we have this one here, which is Ivory Allure. Definitely looks like it has a bit more color to it. Nice ivory color. Guess these are more ivory tones than peach tones. Shouldn't have called them peach tones. Just building that color up. There we go. And then we're into the brown grays. So these are still a gray tone with a brown undertone, a warm gray undertone. This one's called Effortless Style. And as you can see, it's got a really, really light brown in there with that gray undertone. All right. And this one here is called Flawless Form. The color of the leads and the color of the barrels is quite deceiving. I was expecting that to have more gray than the brown. And you can definitely see the gray undertone to it, but the brown does shine through it. It's kind of interesting. Very, very pretty colors. All right, and the next one is Your Majesty, which is a deep gray. So we're going to get into a dark color and then we're going to switch over to the green grays. Personally, I really like green grays, but yeah. I'm strange, yeah. I was expecting this one to be a little bit darker than it is. And it's got a bit of a brown undertone. There we go. So it's a warm gray. It's a darker warm gray. Like I said, this paper does not reflect the color of the pencil very well. And the tooth does fill very, very quickly. So trying to build that color up is a lot more difficult. And then we're going to go into Natural Sophistication, which is a green gray. It's one of those dirty greens, you know. Very pretty color. I like green grays. Just wish the swatch page was a little bit nicer to the pencils, but that's perfectly fine. I do have a swatch page on my own paper that that I use, that I have swatched these on, and you can definitely see the colors a little bit better. This one's called Princess Polish. Now, getting all 500 pencils on one page was a feat and a half, but you know, I did do it. All right, that was Princess Polish. Again, another green tone. That one is got more white in it than gray, and a very pale green. And the last one is called Champagne Bubble. And we're just going to work that color up like so. And we're just going to get darker over here. And it is a very, very light green gray. All right, so we're going to take these pencils and we're going to color in the Winged Daydreams. This is a book done by Monique Day Wild, and it's a beautiful book. And after we're done coloring in the book, we'll switch on over to the main screen and take a look at the colors as well as the coloring. So the first color I want to use is Flawless Form. Which is a brown gray. So this is going to be our base color. And turn this light down a little. There, that's a little better. It's such a gray, cold gray day today. I was hoping that these lights would reflect better, but it seems to be just making everything look worse. Hold on 1 second. Now I'll turn this one off and this one off. And that one up. Hopefully that works a little bit better. I can't see as well, but that's okay. Like I said, these are very, very light colors, so I want you to be able to see them. Me seeing them is kind of a mute point if you guys can't see them. All right, now we're going to take Born Elegance. And do the shadow areas. It's going to be a bit of a dull bird. Come up under here. Do all those shadow areas in. Like so. Then we're going to take our Prom Night. We're going to fill in his belly area. Giving it that little bit of purple. Like so. And then For our greens, we're going to start with Natural Sophistication. So, and then we're going to go into Princess Polish. Now, with these being extremely gray, muted colors, it is going to reflect in the choices that we make here. So, some of the choices that you would think to make are not the right choices to make because of the transparency and the light colors. So I'm going through now with Your Majesty and just darkening that up a little bit. Like so. And then we're going to take Ivory Allure. And do his chest plate here. And his little beak. And then we're going to take, I think we want Effortless Style for his feet. And I think, let's see, Nimble Enigma for the center areas here. And then we'll use Sweet Lilac for this part here. Like so. And then we're going to just go back over it with the Ivory Allure on this side. Now I've also got to finish the other side, but I want to darken this up a little bit. Blending those grays in a little bit more. And the other side, we're going to start with the Natural Sophistication. And then we're going to go in with Born Elegance. Because this is all in shadow on that side. There we have our little birdie. I know it looks very pale. He is quite pale, but he's pretty. All right, I'm going to switch it over to the main screen here so that you can see a little bit better our little birdie. Like I said, he's very, very gray toned, but he is pretty. The colors of the pencils are here. Let's move you down just a touch so you can see a little bit better. The first one is called Born Elegance, and it's a lovely gray. Enchanting Dance is a very pale gray. And then we get into our blue grays, which is Glass Slipper, Wave Chill, Charmed Call, and Dazzling Air. And then we start transitioning into our purple grays, which is Nimble Enigma, Prom Night, Sweet Lilac, and Mystical Muse, as well as Pirouette Perfect has a nice pink tint to it. I should have grabbed that one too. Palace Sheets is where our ivories start. And then we have Suave Entrance, Ivory Allure, Effortless Style and Flawless Form, and Your Majesty are a very lovely brown gray. And then we get into our green grays, which is the Natural Sophistication, Princess Polish, and Champagne Bubble. So if you can see any of those colors, they're a very, very pastel pale color range that is in the gray families. The reason why they're in the gray families is because they have a gray undertone. So they are colors mixed with a lot of gray to soften the color and create that soft color. All right, guys. So with that, Grace, she is enchanting and sublime with an air of sophistication and style. Her eyes lightly twinkle bluish gray. The colors of Grace go on for a mile. This is set number 20, numbers 381 to 400 of the Felissimo 500s. We will continue next week with this one here, which is number 21. The set is called Grace, and like I said, it is a lovely buildup of gray tones, whether it be blue grays, purple grays, green grays, or ivory grays. It is a wonderful set of gray tones, which will go into the box. Again, like I said, I'm going to be going through all of the pencils in and trying to put them into color order. So we will see how that turns out. All right, guys, with that, I would like to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope that this has been a little bit educational, at least a tiny bit entertaining. And with that, I'd like to say thank you very much, and always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you enjoy. Not only does this help us out, but it also helps out with YouTube, making sure that people can see our stuff. And of course, always, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, bye-bye for now.